element of monopoly also. Okay, I repeat, for those who are very comfortable only in Hindi, though you are supposed to speak and listen only in English, but there are always, I observe, section of some students who do not get so familiarized with the language, और फिर वो हला के रूप में इमर्ज कर सकता है. So anyways, लास्ट बेंचर स्पेशली मैं आप ही लोगों के लिए हिंदी में भी इसका रूपांतरण कर देती हूँ कि आज हम लोग उतना हिंदी नहीं. ओके, यस, आई नो आई एम नॉट रीडिंग न्यूज. लिसन चिल्ड्रन, यस, enough. Whoever that side, silence here, or you may leave the class. I have no objection to that. You are grown up enough to decide what you have to do and what you need not do. इसलिए मैं और समय वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहती लेना दे करके same repetitive please be silent that I do not enjoy at all. See, monopolistic competition और oligopoly, मुझे दो टॉपिक कवर करनी है. मैंने आज मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन बिगिन किया और मैंने लिखा व्हाइट बोर्ड पर मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन आल्सो नोन एज इम्परफेक्ट कंपटीशन. इसका अर्थ यह होता है कि मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन या जो इसकी पर्यायवाची है इम्परफेक्ट कंपटीशन, इसमें मोनोपोली यानी एकाधिकार के भी कुछ विशेषताएं प्रेजेंट हैं और परफेक्ट कंपटीशन के भी कुछ एलिमेंट्स, कुछ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, कुछ विशेषताएं प्रेजेंट हैं. So imperfect competition, which is the other name for monopolistic competition, has some elements, has some shades of monopoly, also has some shades of perfect competition. Now to understand this particular topic, it will be advisable to go to the characteristics, which is also known as the features of monopolistic competition. इस अवधारणा को समझने के लिए द बेस्ट कोर्स है कि इसकी विशेषताओं को समझा जाए. फर्स्ट, लार्ज नंबर ऑफ buyers and sellers. Yes, here, large number of buyers and sellers. Next is slightly differentiated product. You can write slightly differentiated product. Third is there is role of selling cost. There is role of selling cost. There is non-price competition. There is non-price competition. Next, there is brand loyalty. To some extent, you have an influence over price, and to some extent, you do not have. Yes, some extent price may be influenced. You will not be able to see this portion, no, at the fag end. अच्छा, पहले इतना ही डिस्कस कर चाहते हैं. Then I will go for other points also. See, listen over here now. Imperfect competition की पहली विशेषता है large number of buyers and large number of sellers, but not as large as under perfect competition. It means one thing, in real world, you have mostly monopolistic competition. Example, soap industry or detergent. All these are examples of what? Fast moving consumer goods, confectionaries. All are example, toothpaste. There is soap industry is soap and detergent, the best example of monopolistic competition. Toothpaste, etc., best example of monopolistic competition. ठीक है, अब इसके फीचर्स पढ़ना चाहिए ताकि कुछ प्रोग्रेस हो जाए. देखिए, number one is under imperfect competition, which is also known as monopolistic competition. There are large number of buyers and there are large number of sellers. but the number of sellers and buyers are not as large as under perfect competition. Under perfect competition, there are innumerable number of buyers and sellers, innumerable, countless, but not so in case of monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition, there is fairly large number of sellers, large number of buyers. हिंदी में ये कहेंगे कि मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन जिसकी पर्यायवाची है इम्परफेक्ट कंपटीशन, इसमें लार्ज नंबर ऑफ बायर्स और सेलर्स रहते हैं, परंतु इतने अधिक लार्ज भी नहीं जितना कि परफेक्ट कंपटीशन में। परफेक्ट कंपटीशन तो ऐसे भी एक हाइपोथेटिकल मार्केट है, परंतु अर्थशास्त्री इसे इसलिए भी पढ़ते हैं क्योंकि ये हाइपोथेटिकल टाइप ऑफ जो मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर है, इसको अज्यूम करके इसकी अवधारणा के बेस पर बहुत सारे लॉज डिराइव हुए हैं, इसलिए परफेक्ट कंपटीशन का ये रियल इंपॉर्टेंस है, जबकि रियलिटी में हाइपोथेटिकल है क्योंकि उसकी विशेषताएं रियल इकोनॉमी में नहीं भी पाई जाती हैं। एनीवे, हम लोग का टॉपिक है मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन, तो मैंने ये कहा कि मोनोपोलिस्टिक कंपटीशन में भी बहुत सारे बायर्स होते हैं, बहुत सारे सेलर्स होते हैं, परंतु इतने अधिक नहीं जितना कि परफेक्ट कंपटीशन में होता है। ओके, नंबर 2, slightly differentiated product. Yes, slightly differentiated product. जैसे you have in soap industry, you have Lux also, you have in Lux it's Pierce तो है ही, but Lux में ही what? New improved, different shades, कोई rose है, कोई aloe vera हो सकता है, कोई white. Are you understanding? Slightly differentiated. Slightly differentiated, but the customer feels that okay, they are different. So what? Listen over here. You have under imperfect competition, under monopolistic competition, you have slightly differentiated product. In Hindi, we mean to say that monopolistic competition में एक product और दूसरी product में थोड़ा सा अंतर होता है. Okay, and that helps to bring brand loyalty also, because you are hooked to new improved lux of pink aroma. Then you develop brand, you become a loyal customer, and when you become a loyal customer, then the producer can have some say in making of the determination of the price. Okay, next is role of selling cost, role of advertisement. See children, when you have what you say Sensodyne, हालांकि Sensodyne तो मेडिकल एक प्रकार का है, Colgate, Babool, yes, Close Up, Pepsodent, नहीं, let me write, Patanjali. Now listen over here. Okay, I understand you are aware about the toothpaste industry. See children over here, listen. These are what? These are all toothpaste examples of that. Now each and every firm over here will always like to do what? Will always like to generate, have hold over the market. Every particular firm will like to have hold, a place in the market. I think you are aware about what is the firm, what is the industry, and what is the plant. I think I have discussed it over here also. No, industry is textile industry. Firm is OCM, Graviera, Vimal, CRM. And plant is, suppose in Surat, there is plant, output generating unit where cloth or textile is made in Surat or in Vadodara of Vimal, then that is what? Plant. So when you are using the word, you have to be technically clear. Plant is where output is generated. Plant वो जगह है economics के term, इकोनॉमिक्स सब्जेक्ट के टर्म में जहां आउटपुट जनरेशन होता है. जैसे सूरत में अगर विमल इंडस्ट्री के, विमल फर्म के, आई शुड रादर से, विमल फर्म के कपड़े तैयार होते हैं, बनते हैं मशीनों द्वारा, तो ये प्लांट है वेयर आउटपुट इज बीइंग मेड. फर्म इज विमल, फर्म इज बॉम्बे डाइंग, फर्म इज ओसीएम, फर्म इज ग्रेवियरा, फर्म इज सियारा. और इंडस्ट्री क्या है? टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री. So you should be always clear what is an industry, what is a firm, and what is A plan. अब यहाँ all these are different firms. Each firm will like to compete with each other. Each firm will like to outdo each other. Why? Because every one of them will like to have a hold in the demonstration. This is in the modern ancient जो भी बोलिए, आज का मॉडर्न कल के लिए एंशियंट हो जाता है, ये तो टाइम रिलेटिव चीज होती है. बट present world में there is a demonstration is very important. Yes, you have to show that your presence, and therefore you have to spend lot on what? Advertisement. And advertisement का कोई भी टूल हो, चाहे सेल्स प्रमोशन एफर्ट कुछ भी हो, पर्सनल सेलिंग हो, पब्लिसिटी हो, या other sales promotion technique you must be studying in business. Yes, in the market, whatever be the tool of sales promotion, advertisement is one of the most powerful tool of sales promotion. You have to spend a lot. You have to employ salesmen, or if you are going for the advertisement, then in case of advertisement, especially on visual media, you have to spend so many crores of rupees for few seconds. So there is the role of selling cost. Selling cost हर particular firm अपना spend करेगी ताकि उसके product की market standing बने. So what we see that there is third feature is what? Role of selling cost. Firms को काफी खर्च करना पड़ता है अपने product को advertise करने में. Next is non-price competition. Yes. See, if you indulge in price war, every firm will lose. So you are involved in non-price competition. You reduce the, suppose Babool will reduce the price of its product, Babool. Then people will go for Babool. Maybe, most probably, normal good hai to they will go for Babool. But the thing is that others will also have to follow and they will also have to lower the price. तो इससे तो सारे firms का profit margin कम हो जाएगा. So they do not involve in price war. Companies do not involve in price war. What do they involve in? First man, middle fellow. They involve in non-price competition. अब ये non-price competition क्या है? Buy one get टू फ्री, ये वाली जो चीज है नॉन प्राइस कंपटीशन है. जितने भी सेल्स प्रमोशन एफर्ट होते हैं, सेल्स प्रमोशन एफर्ट, अगर आप डिस्काउंट कीजिए, यू गो फॉर द रिबेट, यू गो फॉर गिविंग एडिशनल कमोडिटी, या नेक्स्ट पैकेज से ज्यादा आपने फ्लावर यू अंडरस्टैंड आटा आपने उन्हें गिफ्ट कर दिया, या आईटीसी आशीर्वाद के साथ आईटीसी सॉल्व बहुत दिन तक आता है. Yes, packaging के साथ they give a packet of salt of Ashirwad also. Yes, there is a combination. Now in this way, what? In this way you are trying to attract the customer. In this way you are trying to lure your customers. So under monopolistic competition there is non-price competition. These are some of the features. Large number of buyers, large number of sellers, slightly differentiated product, role of selling cost, non-price competition. I write few others after rubbing this. How many points did I write? 5. 4. Okay. In case of brand loyalty, monopolistic competitor may partially influence price. Next. In case of brand loyalty, monopolistic competitor may partially influence price. Okay. Then what do you have? Yes. To an extent, there is entry and exit allowed. To an extent, there is entry and exit allowed. Yes, last match again. To an extent, free entry and exit ही है, परंतु not like perfect competition. वहाँ total free, perfect mobility, perfect knowledge, perfect. यहाँ lack of perfect knowledge है, इतना भी ज्यादा नहीं है. There is lack of perfect knowledge. Yes. In case of brand loyalty, monopolistic competitor may partially influence the price. Yes, I want to say that. देखिए ऐसे तो परफेक्ट कंपटीशन में एक फर्म प्राइस टेकर होती है और मोनोपोली में प्राइस मेकर होती है. मोनोपोली में सिंगल सेलर ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट व्हिच हैज नो क्लोज सब्स्टिट्यूट, जैसे भारत में इंडियन रेलवे, तो वहां प्राइस डिटर्मिनेशन पूरा मोनोपोलिस्ट करता है. और परफेक्ट कंपटीशन में इन्यूमरेबल नंबर ऑफ फर्म्स है, वहां इंडस्ट्री से प्राइस लिया जाता है, प्राइस टेकर. No one, no particular firm can influence price under perfect competition, and in monopoly, it is the monopolist who determines the price. Ab monopolistic competition, as you understand, has both monopoly element and has element of competition as well. So naturally, it is a midway path. No, it is a midway path. How come I have written? ऐसा नहीं आप लिख सकते हैं कि monopolistic competitor will determine the price or not determine the price at all. ये दोनों extreme को avoid करके it will be safer to make a compromise, and therefore I have written specifically in case of brand loyalty, monopolistic competitor may partially influence the price. मेरे कहने का अर्थ है कि I was giving example of Sensodyne, Colgate, etc., etc. Now, as a customer, you have developed liking for Sensodyne. You feel that Sensodyne is the best for your teeth, and therefore you are able to save yourself from toothache. Now, because you have developed brand loyalty for the product, hence Sensodyne, the company which is going to make Sensodyne, has partial influence on the price. Why partial influence on the price? Because I know as a producer that the customer is not going to leave me. The customer is not going to run away from me. The customer is not going to run away because the customer is hooked to my product. Customer likes my product, Sensodyne, and so they are not going to leave the Sensodyne toothpaste, and so there is not a chance of fall in demand, and therefore in that case to some extent I will enjoy what? I will enjoy the liberty to influence the price. Okay? So in case that is why I have written clearly that in case of brand loyalty, a monopolistic competitor will influence price partially. Next, I have written free entry and free exit. Yes, free entry and free exit is enjoyed to a very, very large extent under monopolistic competition market structure. So if the firms are, the majority of the firms are enjoying the supernormal profit, then other firms will enter the industry. And if firms are generally going through subnormal loss, then the firms will have the tendency to quit the industry. So to a very large extent, you have what? You have pre-entry and exit. Then there is under, if you compare with the other market structure, then the topic becomes more interesting and you can understand and make a comparison also. To another extent, there is lack of perfect knowledge. In perfect competition, we say perfect knowledge, perfect mobility of factors of production. Not here. In this particular kind of a market structure, there is lack of perfect knowledge. इसका अर्थ यह निकलता है कि कस्टमर्स को पूरा ज्ञान मार्केट के सारी परिस्थितियों का नहीं होता है. So there is lack of perfect knowledge as well under imperfect competition. After this, what I will like to a very important aspect is what is the nature of demand curve. या कहिए कि what is better to say and explain what is the nature of average revenue curve and marginal revenue curve under monopolistic competition. This is a very key element. So I draw the curve. Okay, listen here. Average revenue, marginal revenue. ठीक है? Now listen, children. This is what kind of a curve? Can you tell me? Marginal revenue, average revenue, जो curve मैंने draw किया है. Yes, last page, especially the second last page. दिखाई तो दे रहा है. Okay, I draw here. Output on the x-axis, average revenue, marginal revenue on the y-axis. And I have drawn, what kind of curve have I drawn? You please answer this. Please answer it. हाँ, किस तरह का curve है ये? Monopolistic competition में this is the nature of average revenue curve or marginal revenue curve. Tell me. Average revenue curve or marginal revenue curve. You people have studied downward sloping है, ये तो obvious है, diagram में it is crystal clear. Yes, tell me. हाँ, they are parallel तो नहीं है, parallel तो ऐसे होगा. नहीं, they are downward sloping. That is obvious. Tell me something more about it. Tell me something more about it. The nature of AR and MR curve under monopolistic competition. Yes. हाँ, AR is above MR. Intersect नहीं करेगा, ठीक है. Okay, I give you a hint. अच्छा ठीक है, ये सारी बातें तो है. One key feature I give you a hint rather. You have studied the concept of elasticity of demand. Yes. You have studied. Yes. So I have given you answer as a hint. Now you exercise your mind and give me the answer now. Exact answer. मैंने आपको indicate कर दिया है. What I am trying to emphasize. Tell me, what is the nature of average revenue curve? I have already drawn the diagram. You only have to spot out. You only have to say what is the nature of the curve. There are 5 types of elasticity. Unitary elastic, E is equal to 1. Relatively inelastic, E is less than 1. Relatively elastic, E is greater than 1. Perfectly inelastic, E is equal to 0. And perfectly elastic, E is equal to infinity. ये किस तरह का कर्व है आप तो बताइए. नहीं, परफेक्टली कहाँ है? से नो, यूनिटरी तो एकदम दोनों इक्वल साइज. You just observe the diagram and tell me. Elastic. Very good. Relatively elastic. Yes, relatively elastic demand curve. Relatively elastic average revenue curve. Chatter boxes. Second last. पढ़ाई में मन लगाइए. Relatively elastic curve होता है. See children, relatively elastic curve फेस किया जाता है. Average revenue curve is relatively elastic under monopolistic competition. Why it is relatively elastic? Because see, there are differentiated product. उसी फीचर में आप ऐड कर सकते हैं कॉमा देके. We have differentiated product, therefore they are close substitute. They are what? They are close substitute. What in Hindi you mean to say? एक वस्तु को दूसरे वस्तु के द्वारा प्रतिस्थापित किया जा सकता है. अगर कोलगेट नहीं अवेलेबल, then you can go for close up. ठीक है? हाँ, if one particular product is not available, दूसरा product उसका compensation कर देगा. It means what? It means what? Now you tell me. Why is the nature of the curve average revenue is relatively elastic? Because if I manipulate the price, my customers will leave me. Vulnerability ज़्यादा है. Have you understood? I'm trying to explain. Relatively elastic curve इसलिए है. Relatively elastic curve का अर्थ ही क्या हुआ? That if there is a slight change in the price, it will have a very large impact on the demand for the product. Elastic मतलब लचीलापन. तो सापेक्षिक इलास्टिक प्रोडक्ट है. इसका सापेक्षिक इलास्टिक डिमांड है. इसका अर्थ ही क्या निकलता है कि अगर एज ए प्रोड्यूसर मैंने प्राइसेस को मैनिपुलेट किया, तो अगर 5% मैनिपुलेशन इन प्राइस हुई, तो इसका इम्पैक्ट ऑन डिमांड 25% हो सकता है. It means slight changes in the price will influence to a very large extent demand of product. Why? सबसे important क्या है कि explanation समझ में आए कि why this is relatively elastic. इसलिए relatively elastic है. I make a comparison in you will understand. देखिए, अगर Sensodyne नहीं available है, you may go for Colgate. अगर कोलगेट ने बहुत ज्यादा प्राइस को मतलब थोड़ा भी प्राइस को मैनिपुलेट किया है, रेस किया है, यू विल गो फॉर क्लोज अप, क्योंकि ये सारे एक दूसरे के क्लोज सब्स्टिट्यूट हैं, स्लाइटली डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट है. दैट इज व्हाई यू विल सब्स्टिट्यूट वन प्रोडक्ट फॉर अनदर. आपकी नीड एंड वांट अगर कोलगेट से सेटिस्फाइड हो रही है, तो वो क्लोजअप से भी काफी सीमा तक, हद तक satisfied हो जाएगी. Therefore, the nature of product is such that there is elasticity which is high. Did you follow this? अब समझ में आया? इसलिए अगर जैसे मोनोपोली होता, एकाधिकार होता, you have to go from Patna to Delhi, और रेलवे को आप यूज करना चाहते हैं, then you have no option. You only have to board Indian Railway. No substitute available. But airways industry को देखिए. If you do not have Indigo, you may go for the Go Air or anything else. थोड़ा सा competition level higher है ना. और railways में monopoly है. They are the only one. And when there is only one, there is no alternative. Close substitute available ही नहीं है. और इसलिए अगर इंडिगो बहुत प्राइस हाई कर देगा, people will leave and go for the SpiceJet. or for any other brand, any other airway. Are you understanding? So where there is monopolistic element, this is the nature of the average revenue curve, and the marginal revenue curve lies below the average revenue curve. Now listen, I will put questions क्योंकि ऐसे ही बोलते रहने से. Beta, I also know how much you have understood. Yes. Tell me, what is the other name? Last benches से कहीं. What is the other, and others don't say. What is the other name for monopolistic competition? Say, stand up and say, please. Imperfect competition. Very good. Imperfect competition. Sit down. Any one of you from that side. Monopolistic competition contains elements of both dash and dash market. Monopolistic competition contains elements of both dash and dash market. Monopolistic competition contains element of both perfect competition and monopoly. शुरू में ही तो बोले कि कुछ shades of monopoly. There is an element of monopoly. There is an element. यहाँ brand loyalty है तो वो monopolist के रूप में नहीं कार्य कर पाएगा. There is element or slightly differentiated product है तो competition. So there is an element of competition also, and there is an element of monopoly also. Okay. Next is, some of you count so that I can put it down. Number of students. Okay, please count. Next, again, there are so many others. Okay, next, tell me. Yes, here. Give me examples of. Give me examples of monopolistic market. मुझे एग्जाम्पल बताइए मोनोपोलिस्टिक मार्केट की. से इंडियन रेलवे फॉर गॉड सेक इज मोनोपोली, एक अधिकार है. आजकल तो तेजस वगैरह चल रही है ऑफ लेट, बट स्टिल इंडियन रेलवे तो टू अ लार्ज एक्सटेंट फॉर सो मेनी इयर्स एंड डिकेड मोनोपोली रही है भारत में, चाहे वो साउथ इंडियन रेलवे हो या ईस्ट इंडियन रेलवे हो. टेल मी प्लीज चिल्ड्रन, give me example of. मैंने इतना सारा example लिखा था अभी. Yes, toothpaste industry, soap industry, detergent industry. हाँ, you can say Alpenlibe भी है और so many are there. Monopolistic competition के ये सारे example हैं. Next, हाँ से airways. देखिए airways it will be better. जहां तक इंडिया की बात है, एयरवेज I made a comparison just for the sake of comparison, पर मैंने उसे monopolistic competition का एग्जांपल नहीं बताया क्योंकि उसमें एक हद तक 10-11 उससे ज्यादा नहीं है. तो it is a case of oligopoly so far as India is concerned. Large number of sellers कहाँ है एयरवेज के? नहीं, large number नहीं है. 10 to 11, 12 अगर है तो oligopolistic market structure है. So it will be better to place airways as an example of oligopolistic market structure. Soap industry, detergent industry, ये सारे best example है imperfect competition यानी monopolistic. Okay, next you tell me. Yes, is there perfect knowledge under monopolistic structure? No. Lack of perfect knowledge. To a large extent, there is freedom of dash and dash. Barrier नहीं है. Give me an example of non-price competition. Give me an example of non-price competition. हाँ भाई. Yes, और भी बताइए. Yes. हाँ ठीक है, ठीक है. Yes, all these very good. Discounts and rebate. All what you study in marketing, the different tools of sales promotion. What you study in market. Yes, chatterbox. what you study in market, all the different tools of sales promotion, whether it is personal selling, whether it is advertisement, and there are many publicity is there. Most important is PRO से ही related public relation होगा. All these are non-price competition. Why people, why the producers avoid price competition? Tell me, please. As a student of economics, you must have this knowledge and you can explain it. Why price war is avoided? Price competition क्यों नहीं करते? Very good. Low margin of profit. So you are understanding the concept. Price war में लोग indulge नहीं करते क्योंकि this will generate loss for business, the all class of firms. So they do not involve in price war. Okay. Now you tell me that what is the nature of average revenue curve under monopolistic structure of market? Yes, very good. Relatively elastic. Marginal curve lies dash the average revenue curve. ठीक है, very good. Marginal revenue curve lies below the average revenue curve. Next, you tell me why it is that the relatively elastic curve is there under input. क्यों? इसका explanation बताइए.
When on the slight change in the price, there is huge difference in the मतलब change हो जाएगा, demand में ज़्यादा change आ जाएगा, थोड़ा सा price अगर ऊपर नीचे करेगा.
Yes, very good. और क्यों change आएगा? क्योंकि they are
close substitutes.
Yes, there are close substitutes. Next, very good. You have understood it means. Next, you tell me that to some extent, देखिए, price maker taker नहीं है, परंतु depending on the situation, to some extent, the monopolistic competitor can influence price. When? किस situation में monopolistic competitor price को price को थोड़ा influence कर सकता है? Brand loyalty. Yes. In case your customer is addicted, in case your customer is hooked, in case your customer has a strong liking for your product, then in that situation you have the liberty to behave as a monopolist also sometimes, and then you can influence the price. Then you may influence the price. So this is how in monopolistic competition these features, these characteristics are enjoyed, and this is the nature of average revenue curve, and this is the nature of marginal revenue curve. Okay, when MR curve lies below the AR curve, what does it imply? जब marginal revenue curve average revenue curve के below होती है, तो इसका economic explanation क्या है? Marginal is what? I think पहले क्लास में इसी क्लास में ना marginal revenue discuss efficiency of capital. Yes, additional. It means that in order to sell more, you may have to lower the price. When the nature of the curve is like this, and the MR is lying below the AR curve. Monopoly में भी क्या है? Under monopoly, they are a price maker, but still MR lies below AR curve. So to sell more, they have to lower the price. Anyway, but under monopoly, the curve is relatively inelastic एकदम, क्योंकि कोई substitute नहीं है. यहाँ relatively elastic है because close substitute है. Okay. I hope you have understood the class. How many students? We count. Listen, yes, here. Okay. Now, yes, for the day alternate, that is on Saturday. I may talk something about price over here under monopolistic competition. Yes, then I will move to oligopoly. Then I will move to oligopoly. In oligopoly, you have certain features, and the price there is indeterminate. We will study what is king demand curve. Perfect competition में नहीं, perfectly elastic. AR is equal to MR. MR curve coincides with AR under perfect competition. Okay. Okay, tell me. Give me. Yes. Give me an example of perfect competition. Give me an example of monopolistic competition. Give me an example of oligopoly and an example of monopoly. Perfect competition. Perfect competition. मैंने कहा hypothetical industry है, but the closest example is Indian farming. Innumerable number of sellers, innumerable number of farmers. Monopoly. Okay, I'll continue with oligopoly. Next.